Joining us now, Fox News contributor and former principal White House advisor to President Ronald Reagan, Ed Rollins. And joining us too, Democratic strategist and President Obama's former regional campaign director, Robin Biro. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Ed,
Thank you, Liz.
I need to ask you a 30,000 feet type of question here, sort of a way up high looking down question. After what happened last night, how far-reaching are the negative implications here?
Short term, they're not good. Anytime you break a president on a big major issue like that, which they did on the health care, there may be a temptation to do it again. He has to get his tax plan up there quickly. He has to get that moving quickly. I think health care, for all practical purposes, is now done for the year. That doesn't mean he won't come back next year. The chaos in the White House has to get straightened out. You've got three very smart people who played important roles. Our friend Anthony, who's been on this show many times and a very dear friend of mine, did not have a good week. And basically, you know, at the end of the day, for whatever reason, we know he's got talent and we know he's a smart guy, and he basically has to get back in the game and hunker down and make peace.
Yeah, we'll get more to that in a second. Okay. But Robin, one could argue a pox on the Republican House, I mean the Senate actually, but the expression is on the House, for not even coming up over 7 years with even a Cliff's Notes version of a new health care plan. However, you could almost say a little bit of the same for the Democrats, could you not? Where is their idea beyond you have to abandon repeal? The Republican, we won't even come to the table if you don't abandon repeal.
That's correct. I'll tell you right now, what the Democrats are proposing is beefing up the Affordable Care Act. They've proposed lowering the prescription drug costs. Of course, they want to keep the subsidies in place to keep these premiums down because they've almost doubled. That's really hurting everyday Americans. And they're introducing this idea of a public option, getting it in there so that we can get some competition. So that's what the Democrats are proposing. I assert that the Americans basically elected Trump because they were sick of this partisan divide with nothing getting done between Democrats and Republicans. That's how we ended up with the anti-president, Donald Trump, who was never a politician before. And they are desperate now for something to happen and for us to work together.
Well, so is John McCain, who said time to return to regular order. We need to get to this unbelievable catfight. I would say it's the worst since the Crystal and Alexis Lily Pond fight on Dynasty, and that is Scaramucci, Anthony Scaramucci, brought in to be head of communications, and Ed also Reince Priebus, who is chief of staff. There is concern or hope, depending on who you side with here in this Hatfield-McCoy type of fight, that Reince Priebus might be out as soon as today. Will he be?
I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, and both are my friends, so I say that going in, and Bannon is also my friend, and I have great respect for all three of them. I think the key thing is that Anthony has to get in there and be a team player. I've worked in 3 White Houses. The White House is a bunch of type A personalities. There's no fences. Whatever your title is, I was the assistant of the president for political affairs. I could go into anybody's turf. Others could come into my turf. You have to make friends and allies and basically work together as a team.
Well, to the point that Anthony actually made during one of his I hesitate to call it an outburst because I think when he said this it wasn't, but he said that the head stinks from the top down. Well, of course, the top, and he did say not the president, but I'll tell you who is saying the president, is a very conservative writer named Peggy Noonan in an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, which has gone absolutely viral today. She said about President Trump, he is weak and sniveling. These are her quotes. He undermines himself almost daily by ignoring traditional norms and forms of American masculinity. His mad, blubbery petulance is not working for but against him. If he were presidential, he'd be getting it done, holding momentum. He'd be over 50% instead of under 40%. Robin, what do Democrats do? Do they sit back and watch the show, or do they come in here and try and figure something out with a brave Senate that tried but again failed?
As I was heading in here, Liz, one of my trusted Democratic colleagues did say that our best tactic right now is to just get out of the way and let things happen. But I really do assert that that's contrary to what Americans want. We all want what's best for America. And right now, letting this bull in a china shop run riot is just not good for any of us. And Donald Trump is not doing himself or anyone else any favors by letting his ego run riot, because we really do have have to try and find a way to work together. He has an opportunity here to be a uniter, like I said, he was elected to office as the anti-candidate. If he can get out of the way of his ego and try and get in there and get some people to work together for change, that's what Americans want.
Right.
They're so tired of the partisan politics.
There's a giant philosophical difference between Democrats want to move towards a more expensive one size fits all. Republicans want a market-driven health care plan, and they're just miles apart. So I think they're going to have a very hard time. You show me any Democrats want to cross the line and try and fix it, and we'll see where it goes, but I haven't seen any basically do that yet.
Ed Rollins, thank you very much. Robin, great to welcome you to the show. Thank you very much, and thank you for your service as an Army Ranger.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
tough,
much,
right?
Liz.